from here. All of this is good, right? All of this, same principles, whoop, cut. In some classic forms, it's here. In some, there's actually, I've seen this to the side, but we're just gonna make this slash, push. So far, or at least here. So this left hand in this case is supporting the blade, right? Because my weight is on the left leg, right hand is dominant, is full. We're gonna step that way, step, bring the toes in, hand is back here, switch, step, and then step back, poof. Notice now, right leg, left hand again. So we've done from here, we've done boom, boom, boom. One thing you can notice immediately is that actually the footwork is a lot faster because you're not getting stuck in these long, deep steps. Instead, you're going for, from here, you're going for these, right? It's a lot faster. The stepping is a lot shorter, so it's a lot faster. You have, right? The footwork becomes faster. So again, all I've done is instead of, so from here, instead of staying here, bring the foot in, turn the hips, shift, step through. Actually, you don't even have to, well, depends on how slow you want to go. Step through, step, step, and then again, bring the foot in. Shift, back, push. And this shift, by the way, right, where you're here, shift back, is something that we find all over the place in the Michuan style. I mean, it's one of the first steps that we see in the 13 postures in the open hand form. So I'm not just making it up. All right, so we've done here, here, hoop, here. All right, so we can be here, or we can be here, depending on which hand we want to be dominant. Here, if it's here, here, if it's here. So, after that, we have this, right, which is going to lead us into these big cuts. And this is where we enter our first problem, because if I'm here, in the classical saber form, we just come up to here, right? We were here to here. Same foot, not a big problem. For us, it's a big slight problem, because what we want to do is if I'm striking with a sword, so my right hand, I want my weight to be on the left leg. So if we're here, we're going to have to shift and come here. So one thing we can do is determine that this previous move that we see, so we're here, here, and then this stepping and pushing, if we simply make that pushing here so that this is a, right, we deflect and then we're pushing with this right hand, weight is on the left. So then it's easy, we just do this, right? Now, there's two advantages to this actually. So first of all, so from here, you can see that this, if it's an attack to my leg, whoa, I want to get my leg out of the way. And this is something that we see in the sword form, right? Great rock spreads its wings, we do that. We can do essentially the same thing here. So from here, shift, shift, step back, push, attack from over there, whap, because then we turn. And you can see how essentially we've linked those moves together. Here, here, here. So we can be here, strike, and my right foot is forward, and I turn. And then I turn. Now I'm going to be on my right leg, so my left hand is forward for that push. Right? Boom, turn, boom. here, shift. So I'm shifting with the turn. So as the blade moves, my weight shifts forward. Personally, I don't like this very much, because unless you made it like, why are you not using the sword to strike here? Even if you've done a deflection, be very quick to go deflect, strike, as opposed to deflect, strike with the palm. I've never liked that very much. So let's see. So we go here and then deflect an attack that was on the front, right? Boom, deflect, and then we slash, and then we shift. Right, and we don't make that full step. We slash, and then slash, shift, strike. That's better. So we're trying to maintain the same number of steps, the same orientation as in the classic form, but we're just gonna make it a little livelier, right? So we were here. Let's see, right? We were here, forward, here, and then we step back, here, all the way through. Whoa, great rock. Deflect, deflect, and this can also be a deflection, by the way. Deflection of an attack coming at the foot. So it's right, knocking, spear thrust to the leg. You were here and you go, whoa, whoa, and then we follow through. There's an attack coming from the front, and we slash. Right, left leg, weight is on the left leg. Turn, slash. So that's the strike here, and then we shift forward. Control. Right, slash. Shift forward, control. So we maintain the classical thing of using the left hand. So slash, control, step, poke. Right. So we're doing great rock, slash up, slash, control, step, jab. Right? Because basically especially if you're think it's not really, if it's the other guy has either a saber, spear, stick, right? You slash or you block, you control, and then you go over and stab, right? So now from here, in the form is when you have the stepping, which is very cool, by the way. I like it a lot. This kind of wrapping motion. So if we're here, boom, somebody comes at you and strikes from over here, boom, you strike, right? It's a block, boom, and maintaining. So we know which way the guy is coming because we want a sword to be pointing in the direction of the attacker, right? So you always want to keep the attacker in front of your sword. That's how they keep him at bay. So we go from here, and then this, from this position, becomes a natural kind of, right? Right? If something comes here, just go, and then, so here, 1, 2, and then again here, this is a problem because we don't want this. We want this. So all we have to do, boom, turn, turn, boom. But now, the problem is we're going to step this way. In the classical form, we go from here to stepping this way. So very simple. In this case, we're here, boom, boom, bam. And we're going to want to go that way. Somebody's coming at this way to attack. So, and there's in the classical form or the public form, there's a hint depending on who does it, by the way. So you're here, or I'm sorry, you're here in the classical form, and there's a hint that the hand is here. Some people just go through and step, and other people are going here, and they're turning, and then stepping to chop. But there's this hand, right? And we can assume that this hand is essentially clearing the space. It's blocking. So we're going to try to maintain that. So how are we going to do that? So we're here, chop, circle, block, and then boom. And again here, this hand extends to counterbalance the, right? Because one of the reasons why we have these diagonals is because we don't want to be off balance. The idea is that if I'm here and if I'm on the right leg and I thrust with the right hand, I'm actually throwing myself off balance, right? So the arm helps, but what even helps even more is, right, boom, left leg, right arm. Then there's no way for me to throw myself that way unless I really start leaning, but we don't want to do that. So, where were we? Boom. Boom. Somebody comes at us this way, and we want to go this way, right? At least that's the public form. So from here, we can step, turn. Do we like that? I don't like that very much. This would be more natural, but then we're going in the opposite direction as in the classical form. But at the same time, right? Since the next move, we cut along the horizontal, the next move is a cut along the vertical. It doesn't actually really matter. At least technically it doesn't matter. Let's see, what else could we do? If we're here to start cutting that way, well, one thing we could do is actually step back and then step forward. And that feels much better, because especially if this is a deflection, all right? Because what kind of deflection is this, right? In the public form, we are here, and then we're here, and then we're here. That doesn't seem very deflecty. That seems more like pokey pokey, I'm getting stabbed in the belly. So if we're here instead, and we come here, now suddenly somebody comes at me this way, and I step and I turn. Right? And this is drag down in the Michuan form. So I'm literally poaching movements from the form to be here. So now this is a clear block, right? And now I step forward and chop. That seems better. So remember we added this move here, swirl, boom, stab, deflect, step through, chop. All right, so it's deflect, step through, and chop. Notice my hand's back here because, again, whenever I'm doing these sword movements, I want my hand to be close inside of this V that you make when you swirl the saber. Right? You don't want it up here. You'll chop your own arm off.